blocked from behind and then recaptured by Burton for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Strong move, Diallo. Diallo drives and again attacking the cup.
You know, when we look at the Blazers play, you always ask yourself, okay, what is the coach looking for? Do is impress the coach defensively. And the latter stages of this tournament, the coach is looking for
Isaiah that has gotten consistent play. And yes, they have brilliant backcourt play, but they've done a great job of finding the right guys to plug.
He's got two dynamic guards who understand how to play out of his system. And what I think what he's been able to do is get excellent chemistry.
On the 9th of July, and a foul.
And I have all the belief, faith, and hope that he does.
Oh, big two-handed
These are
slam.
going to be the Westbrooks or the Paul Georges. So they got to find roles that they can fit into.
Gian Clavel hitting the jumper. Nice look. Hervey down the lane with the finish.
We'll try to stand out on the offensive end when really what this league is.
And the rebound to Portland. Jalen Horde with the distribution. And a three-pointer down. Blazers with a 1-point lead, but it is short-lived as Hervey.
He played on the men's team. I played on the women's team. He finished with 2000, obviously in the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame. I was lucky enough to cover his son once in college when Duke played Virginia.
Trent on the deck, a spin, a fade, and a make.
It's their opportunity. They put in a lot of work this year behind the scenes.
From a winning standpoint, but just from a chemistry and culture standpoint.
But, you know, it was done in stages and embraced after we made the change after the first 3 years. And then CJ knowing that he was going to come into his own as a player. Good culture, but then there was a shift because of the leadership.
But the confidence that the players have in their offensive repertoire, in their shot-making ability.
Moved out, and you got guys like Dame and CJ who can, and Dame, I mean, that can make that. He's an effective scorer in the paint. He and Damian and CJ already have a relationship.
I think in D'Antoni's offense, he'll find a way to get those two.
But it does produce a wealth of compelling storylines.
We know it's not boring.
No. No, and there are no days off. Strong move to the rim.
They have done a good job drafting players. Does it make it competitive and as you said, makes the games important? Because now you're seeding your
Donovan just walked back to his courtside seat, and you know the gears are turning. Grantham to the rim, break a streak of first-round exits in the playoffs. Straight line drive, no finish, but a foul by Jarnell Stokes.
You know, unfortunately in this league, we know what happens to coaches when they're in this rebuild start-over mode.
Hervey, a great look ahead from two-time.
I can't think of one.
Yeah, two-time National Sports Writer of the Year. Hervey flips it up and in.
Stylistically, has Mike D'Antoni ever coached a Russell Westbrook? Has Russell Westbrook?
You know, they just got stronger with Whiteside. So these two need each other now more than ever.
To defend, to take a step back, and to defer. And we're going to naturally assume that's a go home or go hard bet that Daryl Morey is making. It sounds like he's betting his job on 3 criteria that people came up with and said, if you're going to trade for Russell Westbrook, you have someone who Russell Westbrook respects and someone who can coach Russell Westbrook.
Is probably thinking in his mind is, hey, the last time I played.
You know, a lot of this is personality based. This is a personality league. Those two players were not James Harden as we know him now, and Russell Westbrook. You got to get in training camp. You got to play 20 or 30 games before you figure it out. Will D'Antoni have the rope for that? More questions than definites at this point. I will say this, Zeke, and you as an executive.
Probably in the last 20, 30 minutes or so, and we're trying to keep hope alive.
I don't know.
Well, we had a coach's challenge. The foul was originally called on Portland, and this has been overturned. It's a new feature. It's an offensive foul called on Dante Grantham. And this will be done on a trial basis in the NBA next year.
Playing in that system would be just dynamic.
And for Russell Westbrook to a large degree is, does he have the savvy? Will you revert back to your old habits? Will that sacrifice go out the window? And that's the thing that I am not sure.
You getting straight, uncut, unfiltered conversation.
You make me sound so bad. And as
to it. And yes, while we are all hopeful and we are fans of what we're watching, at the same time, if you're Harden and if you're Westbrook and you seeing what this
doesn't mean you make the deal that's in front of you. I'm not saying that if it came down to it, I wouldn't have done it either.
And I know there's 3 cities I will find you at. I will find you in Houston. I will find you, not only from a scoring standpoint, from a rebounding standpoint.
He was talking about Vincent Goodwill of Yahoo Sports joined us in the third quarter, and it's how well do these pieces.
You got your head coach in terms of D'Antoni. You got Westbrook and you got Harden on the same page mentally. Then they're going to be special.
Well, how about having 2 MVPs on the same team within the last?
So analytics would say that.
Trent, beautiful move. Clock down to 1. 3-try missed by Mike Daum. And out of bounds. It'll be Portland basketball, and a technical foul has been called on Oklahoma City.
We had Terry Stotts sitting here earlier, and this execute under pressure. Are you selfish? Are you unselfish? And are you a gamer late at the end of the game? And the coach at the end of the game, this young player is developing in our league.
Stokes banging bodies with Herbie, hooks it up and in. On the deck, Baisley dumps it off. They're very interested in hearing what players have to say as Herbie, because the game has changed. It's not the same. Clavel, his 3 is through. And coaches on the competition committee is a good thing.
It's definitely a good thing. And right now the pendulum.
And the rebound to Jalen Horde. Portland down 4. They need a hoop, and they get it from Stokes, and the foul.
And if you can get a miss, you can take a quick timeout. That's an offensive foul there.
Obvious offensive foul. Diallo goes to the cup and then fouled.
Yeah, that's good defense. And this is.
And then a throwaway, and Deonte Burton is going to take this to the bank.
Because I was so depressed.
Trent.
So coming back game 6, they all came up, gave me a pat on the back and said, hey, let's play.